Hello everybody, Skyrim here, back again with another Diablo Immortal video. Alright, it's been a little while again, yes, forgive me. Here we go. We're getting the patch notes for both the Chinese and the Blizzard notes. We're going to do the cross comparison of this. We're going to go over the Blizzard notes first, so here we go. They didn't leave too terribly much out, but the Chinese notes does go into a lot more detail regarding certain things, so I do appreciate that. So we'll get into that one after. We'll cover this one quickly because there's not really much to it. Now, the mantle of the Druid, obviously Druid is on its way in just a matter of days. Everybody's looking forward to that, including me, honestly. It's going to be a fresh layer of paint, so to speak, for the game for me in that regard. So I'm actually looking forward to a breath of fresh air. There we go. And then, of course, they want to go over and say, hey, click here if you want to see this, because we've already discussed the Druid stuff. But there is some more stuff in the Chinese patch notes that we'll get to in a second. Our Battle Pass is ending soon. I actually almost forgot about this. I knew it was getting close, but I didn't realize how close it was. There is kind of a image of what we can expect in the new Battle Pass for the skins. Of course, it's going to be very, very, very Druid themed for all classes in this aspect, so that might be a hit or miss for a lot of players in that sense. But first, let's go ahead and show what I mean by this. Make sure, since the Battle Pass will be ending, I need to do this myself, and I'm going to do some of it right now. We are getting an experience boost still on it, but can I make that go away? Here we go. Ending in, as of this recording, it's going to be ending when the new patch goes live. So claim everything or lose your stuff in here. So I'm gonna do this right now myself, so I can remind myself and claim all the things that I currently have been holding on to, which wasn't all too terribly much, but nonetheless still. And of course, collect all, give me my hilts and some useless scrap at this point. There we go. All right, so make sure you are claiming everything in your codex one more time before it ends when the new patch goes live. Okay, back to it here, back to the patch notes, continuing on. Let's see, yeah, and it will be in effect until the July 3rd, and then, yeah, okay. Myth Slayer, this is another in-shop skin, nothing else to it. You buy it with Eternal Orbs if you want them. A very interesting choice. I don't know how I feel about this one. Do a little bit of a quick zoom in, not very centered, forgive me, but yeah, I don't know. Again, very Orient themed per usual when it comes to that, because of NetEase being the main developer of this. Take it for what you will. Obviously, every single time points of contention one way or the other. Everybody's got their opinions on this one, and rightfully so, considering this one is just pure pay. So I don't know. It's all right, but I'm not really too overly whatever about it either way. Okay, class balance. This is a huge one, honestly. This one, they go into more detail in the Chinese patch notes, which we are getting very close to covering, because this is almost the end of the Blizzard notes, because there wasn't that much. The Calamitous Escape Shoulders. Escape cooldown has been increased on it, so this is a nerf and a necessary one for the most part across the board. It has caused a lot of stir. I haven't been in Battlegrounds much myself recently because I'm just kind of burnt on it. So a lot of us in all of that regard have been, aside from the lifers in PvP at this moment. So yeah, we're all pretty much just waiting for Druid to release and looking forward to that, I think, more so than anything else. So I haven't really been in Battlegrounds much at all. But anyway, I have heard all over the place, though, however, even not being in Battlegrounds, I heard quite a lot about this, and it is no surprise. So it's good that they got around to fixing this one fairly quickly. Yes, some people could say, oh, well, Demon Hunter's been needing something for a while too, and blah, blah, blah. Well, you did get some, but it got a little overtuned at the outset, which is no surprise. They tend to put a lot of things in game and then they don't dial it back. Sometimes it takes them a little too long, in all honesty, on certain things in the game that they put in, and they don't realize. Unfortunately, the players pick up on that right away, because the developers don't play their own game, and hence this is what we get. But fortunately enough, they did make a slight adjustment to it and a tweaking, so it's not entirely gone, but you know, obviously the effect of it. And speaking of that, the necromancers I have seen in the PvP space, they have said that the necromancer population in PvP has dwindled from the Wraith Fear nerf that they had gotten the last go around as far as overall PvP competition. So, I mean, are we honestly surprised by that? Probably not. So, but it is what it is, and it needed to happen just the same. So, in this case, this is a Demon Hunter adjustment. Now targets a direction instead of a location, and no longer knocks back enemies. So it got substantially nerfed, I do feel, from what it was, but again, something that probably needed to happen, and it was just a little too much. We'll go into that right now, into the Chinese patch notes here very soon, because they actually do, in so many words, explain why. The max distance reduced here from 6 to 8. To 6 from 8. Yeah, not to 8, but 6. Yeah, it got reduced down in the distance of it. All right, and then the feature market updates here. The normal gems, terra essence, and runes posted on the market at the same price will now be stacked in a single group. So you won't have to buy the whole batch of, say, like the first one of that price and before you can get to the next one, and so on and so forth. So I can see where that would be, you know, beneficial to those that would put up larger stacks. It'd be like, oh, cool, everybody's going to buy my stuff first, that kind of thing. But now it seems to be more of a distribution. This should allow you to more easily produce multiples of the same item at one time. So, yeah, you can burn through the stacks, and you don't have to worry about clearing them out. You can just, well, you can clear them out now, but across multiple sets of them on the market at the same price. All items stacked this way will sell first in and first out. So there you go. Keep that in mind when selling stuff on the market. Excess items posted on the market that exceed the market stack cap will not be visible. I didn't know there was a stack cap. I've seen plenty of stacks of massive amounts in there, and mostly you can tell those are from the botters and the scripters, but I didn't know there was a stack cap. That's interesting. And bug fixes on Blizzard, of course, is aha, laugh, 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 because they never post them properly. All right, now we get into the Chinese patch notes. Really quickly, nothing too out of the ordinary here. We go into Druid. Now, this one did leave a little bit of... Here you go, right here. They have the affix, magic affix attributes for Druid listed here. They did not post them, so this was left out in the Blizzard notes. Of course it has. So take over this. I'm just going to leave this on the screen while I continue on with my spiel here. Even pause it if you need to, but we'll be on here for a little bit. But yeah, there are the eternal affixes that the Druid will have available to it upon release. And they didn't list this again, like I said, in the Blizzard patch notes, and well, that's just how they do. The Chinese notes are far, far better for that reason alone. Okay, now, I will say, if you still want to see this, pause it for right now, but I also am going to put up on the screen the eternal affixes and the swaps when you go in class change. So which ones are going to affect which, the other, right? So here we go. Here's this on the screen. Pause this one where you need to, and to kind of go over it, take a screenshot, all that kind of stuff, whatever you need. But as you can see here, like in, we'll look at the first line in particular. Wizard, the ice armor affixes. If you switch to barbarian, it will be whirlwind affixes. Monk, wave of light, and so on across the top of the screen here. You get the idea, right? So in the case of, okay, let's say you switch from Tempest to Druid, you will get the Flowing Strike affixes will be switched over to the Werewolf eternal affixes. Okay, that's how this works. This is the just a quick snapshot of it. So there you go. If you want to take advantage of that, like I said, screenshot it, save it for yourself for later, whatever you need to do. I just wanted to put that on there in regards to the magic affixes. Which, again, here's the list one more time. And moving on. All right. So, and this is talking about the new Battle Pass and so on and so forth here. Again, on the Chinese notes, moving down further on. And then there's, of course, new arrivals in the mall. The whole shop. Cosmetic yet again. Now, this one here, of course, we don't see on global ever. we're hoping, and I'm still adamant about the fact that we will be getting another mirror jewel at some point here before our buffs end, because they still go on for they're still ongoing for quite a bit yet. I still feel like we will get another one here fairly soon. There was still no mention of it this patch, which is very interesting, so there might be one. Again, don't hold your breath to that, and I've said this in the previous video, do not hold your breath to that, nor hold me to that, because we should know by now to, you know, take it for what it is when it comes around. But as far as the Chinese servers, they always get a all-day mirror jewel, all day, on the 6th of every month. And that's what this is here. I just wanted to point this out so that be like, well, where is this? Why don't we get this? It's like, well, this is the Chinese servers. That's how it's always been for quite some time now. And yeah, they get a guaranteed one once a month, which is why they started, I think, rolling out the one to us on the global servers. We have been getting one about in the middle of the month, it seems, since March. We have gotten a mirror jewel since March once a month. Okay, so this is why I'm still thinking that we will get one here after the next update in the middle of July. But and that will still coincide with the buffs that we have going on for the gem flow right now. So the blood flow gem. So take it for what you will. I'm still holding off on doing any of my gem surge stuff until that happens. And obviously I don't have that many crests as a free-to-play ME right now, so I'm still accumulating more. Okay. So, but yeah, that's what they get. That's what we don't get, right? So, anyway, activity center, all the usual stuff on the ground. Yeah, the usual fare coming back around with our usual returning events is what that stuff is. So I'm not going to cover that right now. Balance adjustment. See, they go into much more in-depth detail on this, and I appreciate that. So here we're going back around to the Demon Hunter adjustment and nerf to their equipment. The escape of the Demon Hunter legendary equipment, and of course it's called something different because this is roughly Google translated, mind you, of course, per usual, from the Chinese notes. The operation method has been changed from selecting a target point to selecting a direction, as we've covered. The maximum sprint distance has been reduced from 8 meters to 6 meters. The coding time, that's interesting. No, cooling, excuse me. Yeah. Oh boy, I'm reading this on a separate monitor on my recording software, so forgive me. The cooling time, I mean, it's coding, cooling, same stuff actually, you know, be honest. The cooling time has been adjusted from 6 seconds to 8 seconds as well, so they increased the cooldown, and it will no longer cause a knockback effect. Okay, developers' words right here, here we go. We noticed that the legendary equipment combined with other legendary equipment has led to a very active infinite escape style of play, of which we've duly noted across the PvP space, which shows the extraordinary creativity of adventurers. No, that means it just shows your shortcomings as developers to play the game yourselves before you release this stuff, and then you would know how this figures out. But of course the players are far more on point when it comes to this kind of thing, and that's what that translates to. At the same time, we have continued to receive feedback from the community that the uninterrupted displacement, yeah, that's pretty rough, and continuous knockback of this style cannot be countered. No counter play. So this is definitely deemed a proper nerf, because when you have zero counter play, that is not a good time for anybody involved. Oh, obviously the other side, but I mean, as far as overall, that's just not good. That's just not good for PvP. When you have zero counterplay, yeah, that has to be adjusted. Therefore, obviously, it has. Cooldown time has been slightly adjusted, aiming slightly limit the ability to escape continuously and frequently while retaining the mobility experience of this skill as a core displacement method. Okay. So, you know, they said that we tried to leave like what they really wanted in at the initial outset of it, but then of course the zero counterplay stuff, like I said, has been taken out of the equation a bit. So, and rightfully so. Like I said, that needed to happen. Glad to see that they got around to it sooner rather than later. And then again, they're showing the market optimization here, but there's some other stuff here we can go over. The bug fixes. This is what also is left out in the global notes, the Blizzard notes. They always are like a week behind whenever they release these. These actually take place sooner. Whenever the Chinese patch notes show that they have done bug fixes, they have happened or are on the way at the update. In this case, they've already happened. Fix the issue where the damage increase and dodge effects of the Demon Hunter legendary equipment. Now this one I'm not entirely sure in the translation, Road of Destruction, where we're still retained after changing the equipment. So that's pretty crazy, and I'm glad to see that got fixed. Apparently, whatever combination of essences, whenever you would swap it out, I guess it would retain the affix bonuses, which is crazy. But they fixed it, fortunately enough, so there you go. There's that one. Now this one here fixed the issue with the myth fragments, which is of course the helmet fragments were not correctly displayed in the daily dungeon reward on PC. Well, I appreciate that since I play on PC. Okay, also fixed the issue where the wish and team information and assistance information interfaces and dungeon entries overlapped. Yeah, that kind of got annoying. I haven't been able to, let's go ahead and look at that real quick, honestly, because I haven't checked that recently myself. Let's go party finder, quick matching. Okay, it's still set here. I'm at 100% until I get a random dungeon that would actually have it, or choose that dungeon, of course, to get the drop. I'm not gonna... Let's do a quick summon, maybe? Okay. Now, that might be the same way with the Spectral Allies. That already shifted it over, but hopefully, yeah, hopefully that's fixed now to where it's not overlapping whenever other people would join in a random dungeon anymore. That was kind of irritating, because then it's like, oh, we got people and you couldn't exactly tell initially at the outset, so that's what that means. All right, wrapping this up real quick. I've already been here long enough. Thank you guys for hanging around. I appreciate you as always. Like I said, I like to give a little bit more in-depth discussion over these things more often than others. I hope that is, and I do like to do a cross-examination, as always, between the Chinese and the global notes, because a lot of times, again, the global notes leave stuff out that's a lot more relevant, that I do appreciate that the Chinese patch notes have in them. I just wish that global would still be on better par with the two, and there wouldn't be such disparity between them. But hey, two different companies across two literal opposite ends of the globe, and here we are. And this is how it's been since the launch of the game, and I don't see that changing ever. Let's see. The Barbarian Leap Attack. Now this one, you figured out for yourselves, Barbs out there. Fix the issue where the Barbarian's leap attack and its description skills were easily dropped to the ground. Again, Google translation, after being used in some scenes. Okay, so cutscenes, I'm assuming that it causes things to kind of go a little wonky. But yeah, and then fix the issue where some skills, Demon Hunter, Escape, Mist Blade, Tempest, Treading Wave, Flash, etc., could be used during the triggering of the Pinnacle Secret Skill, so Legendary Skill of Vitality, whichever one that one is. Could be used during it. Oh, so some skills were able to be stacked with... That's kind of dirty. Good thing they fixed that one too. Okay. And then recent online hot updates. And then you can take this for what you will. Suit icon is set piece. Okay, so there you go. Read it for what you will there. I'm not going to go over that any further, but there you go. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Of course, as always, obviously, this patch update is all about Druid. Again, let me put up the affixes one more time so you can see the shift amongst the class changes whenever you do them. Yeah, so those are the magic affixes and which ones are affected from the ones that you may currently own and what they will be turned into if you would switch to any of the other classes. So, one more time, there you go. Take it for what it is. Okay, there you go. Anyway, until next time, everybody, stay safe out there in the real world, and as always, take care of yourself as best you can. One day at a time, it's all we can do. Until next time, see you.